What is up, guys? So this is going to be my review for Arrow Season 6, Episode 9, which is the mid-season finale, titled Irreconcilable Differences. I know I pronounced that so wrong in my trailer breakdown. I think I pronounced it irreconceivable. Irreconceivable is how I pronounced it, which is, I don't know why I added the V. I just don't remember. That was really stupid of me, but it's irreconcilable, I think that's what it is now. So, irreconcilable differences, but let's get into the review. This episode was not good. Okay, so the first 10-15 minutes of this episode was unwatchably bad. It was the first time since the finale of Arrow Season 4 that I actually skimmed through it. I could not watch it. I just skipped to the part that Quentin told Oliver that there was a mole on the team. That's it. That's all I watched from it. And the last time I did that was the Arrow Season 4 finale, which is one of the worst episodes ever. That's going to tell you a lot. Now, this episode isn't as bad as that because the last 25 minutes weren't bad, but the first 10-15 minutes was crazy terrible. It was so bad. It was a little funny, the Mr. Terrific part when he was drunk. That was actually funny. But other than that, it was straight up terrible. It was unwatchable, and I hate it so much. The thing this episode had going for it, like originally, meaning like before you watch it, is that there's someone on the team who is testifying against Oliver, and that's obviously really interesting. It's sort of like Evelyn, but in a less evil type of way. But the way they handled it was pretty disappointing. First of all, Renee just straight up tells everyone that he's the testifier. Like right away, like 7 minutes after Quentin tells Oliver that there's a mole, and that's disappointing. We didn't get a chance to get like clues here and there, except for that one scene where Curtis and Renee talk about how life would be better without Team Arrow. That hinting is either Curtis or Renee, but other than that, we didn't get a single other scene hinting or cluing us as to who the testifier is, and then Renee just straight up tells us, which is like robs us of the mystery. I would have much preferred it if Renee, if it was revealed that Renee was the mole, like near the end of the episode, or like at the end of the episode as a cliffhanger, giving us enough time for like buildup of tension on Team Arrow and hinting here and there. But alas, he just told everyone that he's the testifier, robbing us of all mystery that could have been very interesting. Second of all, Oliver is such a dick in this episode. Like, he only thinks the mole can be one of the new recruits, and even though he turns out to be right, still he doesn't even suspect for a second that it was someone on our original Team Arrow, meaning him, Felicity, or Diggle, because it's not like Felicity ever betrayed the team. Oh wait, she did, which basically led to Team Arrow's main problem this season being Kate and James, apparently, so it literally makes no sense that Oliver trusts Felicity more than the rest of the new recruits, because the new recruits never betrayed him before. Felicity did. It's really like Felicity, whenever she does something, nobody ever acknowledges her wrongdoing. She never has to deal with the responsibility of anything she ever does. She betrayed the team. I don't see her being kicked off the team. Oliver just forgives her. But the second Wild Dog betrays the team, and for a good reason apparently, he's kicked off immediately. He's given a second chance, granted, and in the second chance, instead of following orders, he did the right thing again. He's kicked off the team, and that's ridiculous. And it's not like Diggle ever lied to Oliver before, right? Oh wait, just a couple of weeks ago, he lied to Oliver about not having a tremor and not taking drugs to fix that tremor, and then going out of the field as Green Arrow, even though he's compromised. And Oliver actually was disappointed by that. He went crazy about that for one scene, but then he forgave him. It makes no sense that Felicity and Diggle get so much leeway, but then the new recruits get zero leeway, especially Wild Dog, who's kicked off the team immediately. But yeah, Oliver's just a dick in this episode, and that might be a new thing where when he was dating Felicity, he was a pussy, such a pussy, and now that he's married to Felicity, he's just a prick. And because of all this, because Oliver is such a dick to everyone on the new recruits, the tension feels forced. Not on the recruit side, but it feels like Oliver is like forcing the tension on purpose. He's spying on the recruits. He's singling Dinah out as somebody you can't trust, and then singling Wild Dog out as somebody you can't trust. It's obviously he is causing the tension on purpose, or at least it seems like that, because there would be no tension if he just sat down and talked to everyone and asked who's testifying, and then gave everyone, including Felicity and Diggle, a fair chance at explaining themselves or telling everybody that they're the one that testified. It's honestly like Oliver is the cause for all this tension, and because of that, if there's like a civil war between these two, which is something I really want to see, it's the only good thing to come out of this episode is that there's a potential of a Arrow civil war, which with Green Arrow, Diggle, and Felicity versus Wild Dog, Black Canary, and Mr. Terrific. That's something I would really want to see as of right now. But if there is a civil war, I'm 100% siding with Wild Dog, Mr. Terrific, and Black Canary because they're in the right. They are 100% in the right. Wild Dog did nothing wrong. If Oliver and him, if Team Arrow was gonna go down, and he can save himself and his daughter, then he did the right thing. Black Canary did nothing wrong. Mr. Terrific did nothing wrong. Black Canary did maybe something wrong talking to Vigilante, but that can be excused because it was her ex-boyfriend or whatever. But Oliver did 100% do something wrong in the fact that he didn't trust the new recruits for absolutely no reason, or at least he didn't trust the new recruits, and he did trust Felicity and Diggle when he actually had more reason to not trust Felicity and Diggle, like I said earlier. And Wild Dog and Mr. Terrific give him no reason to not trust him. They've never betrayed him or lied to him as far as I can remember. Black Canary, I guess it makes sense just because there's a video of her talking to Vigilante, but then again, Oliver straight up accused all the recruits, including Black Canary, before he saw that video. So, really, Oliver's completely in the wrong here, and if there's a civil war, I'm siding with Team Arrow 2.0. Okay, after 7 minutes of ranting, let's talk about the good things in this episode. First of all, the scene where Quentin and Black Canary, or Black Siren, have the moment where they bond over the cake, over the birthdays. That was a really, really nice scene, and it's the first scene that leads me to believe that Black Siren could actually have a redemption arc. That, coupled with the fact that Black Siren let Quentin go at the end. Before this, she just looked straight up evil, killing people left and right, but now she bonded with Quentin Lance, had that nice moment, and let him go. I could definitely see a redemption arc in the future, and I honestly would not mind a redemption arc. Sure, it would get like a little too many, there would be too many canaries, but as of right now, there's 0 canaries on Team Arrow, so if Black Siren or Laurel Lance of Earth 2 joins the OG Team Arrow right now, then you know what, I wouldn't be against that. There would be 2 Team Arrows, both of them with Black Canaries. As of right now, I don't see the Team Arrows coming together to become one Team Arrow for at least another 4 episodes. So until then, the Black Siren could join that team. And speaking of Black Siren and all those villains, we finally see the team coming together at the end, the villain team that we've been promised. And you got Kaden James, you got Anatoly walking in, you got Black Siren and Ricardo Diaz, and this guy, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm excited to see this team go up against Team Arrow. Not gonna lie, it's a little underwhelming seeing this team because we have also Vigilante's there for no reason. Vigilante's supposed to be an anti-hero, not a straight up bad guy. That's literally the opposite of what he wanted in season 5. But other than him, what's his name? Ricardo Diaz being there has no impact on me. We've seen him for a couple minutes in total, and he was lame. Anatoly being there, we don't know why, but I'm excited to see more of him, definitely. Kaden James being there makes sense. It also looks like Kaden James is the main villain of, like, the main villain instead of Ricardo Diaz, which is disappointing because he's a hacker. I would prefer not to see more hacking episodes and more fighting episodes with Ricardo Diaz. But I don't know. The team looks good, I guess. Vigilante being there makes no sense. I don't know who this guy is. So it's a little teeny tiny bit underwhelming. Oh, wait, right. I'm supposed to be talking about the good in this episode. So there was a really great fight scene where Oliver was fighting Kaden James' minions or whatever. And watching the fight scene, I was like, yes, this is what I want to see in Arrow. This fight scene right here with Oliver Queen in the Green Arrow suit. When Diggle was in the Green Arrow suit, the fights were boring as hell. But this fight right here was awesome. But that's really the extent of the good in this episode. This one fight scene, the Quentin Laurel scenes, and also just the general concept of the team breaking up is interesting, but it was not done well. As for mid-season finales goes, this was one of the weakest, probably the worst Arrow season finale ever. That's saying a lot. I give this episode a 5.7 out of 10. This was really disappointing, considering my expectations were low. Seeing how the trailer mainly focused on, or like the beginning of the trailer focused on the wedding, my expectation for this episode was very low. But even the thing that looked promising in the trailer, which was the team tension, there's somebody, a mole, it wasn't done well. So this was not the greatest episode ever. But let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.